Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarina, Robert, and Allison.
Hello, friends. It's so good to see you both again. It has been a while since I think we recorded an episode.
It has. Great Monday. Great Mother's Day. I hope you guys have enjoyed your Mother's Day.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yes.
Good.
And just so excited about today in this episode.
I think we're going to have a really good time with this episode.
I am truly looking forward to this one.
And since we're looking forward to it, let's just dive on in. So the title of this episode is Diving In with the Mermaids at the Y. Today, we're thrilled to talk with two mermaids. Yes, and they're also Y members that are engaged in a group at their Y called the Mermaids. From morning swims to community events, the Mermaids demonstrate how engagement, community, and belonging shape lifelong health and wellness. We're excited to discover how this group of swimmers make every splash count, proving that age is just a number when you're young at heart. Joining us are Carolyn Melinder and Chris Higgins. Carolyn has been a member of the Y since 2009. She is the mother of two daughters and who comes to the Y 4 days a week. While she is retired, she is an active volunteer with Must Ministries. Chris Higgins has been a member of the Y since 2013. After growing up in Syracuse, New York, she lived overseas in Germany for a year following her marriage to Mike. She and Mike lived in a variety of U.S. cities, including 3 years in Kwajalein, one of the Marshall Islands in the South Pacific. Chris and her husband have two children, Patrick and Amanda, and they have two grandchildren, Maggie and Connor. Welcome, ladies, to Y Connect.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. We just got to put our mermaid tails, tuck them in behind our legs, and we'll be ready to go.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a long program.
The reason I was all those places was my husband was always one step ahead of the law.
One step ahead of the law. That's so good to hear.
I didn't put that in the bio.
Oh my gosh. Well, Carolyn and Chris, thank you so much for being here. First of all, did we capture the spirit of what the Mermaids is, the group? Could you give us an idea from your perspective? What are the Mermaids?
Well, they're much more than just coming and swimming for the 45 minutes every day. It's really equally as much of a social group where you can connect with the ladies. The water is a great place to connect because it's not as if you're doing a Zumba class where you're out of breath and you can't really speak. In the water, we have a lot of fun because it just lends itself to that. So I've made many, many friends being a mermaid, as well as learning to get your swimming skills up.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your perspective. Yeah. Thank you, Chris, about the Mermaids. How did you become a part of the group to begin with?
Well, for myself, just looking at what they were offering, on their menu, so to speak. And what actually started it was I was swimming laps one day because half of the pool was got lap lanes and the other half, they were conducting the water aerobics, which that's what the Mermaids do. It's the water aerobics. They're not doing laps or anything like that. They're doing exercise in the water, and they call themselves the Mermaids. But I was swimming laps, and I happened to be aware that this water aerobics program was going on at the same time. So I thought, that looks like a lot of fun. The music was playing and the instructor was bebopping up on this thing. And I mean, it just looked like fun. So that's how I got introduced to it, just by physically being in the right place at the right time.
I like that. How about you, Carolyn?
Excuse me. I was new to the state. I came in 2009, and my daughter introduced me to the Y. She introduced me to the water class, to the other activities here at the Y. And it has, now the Mermaids, I do a lot of things. So I consider myself kind of a mermaid.
Okay.
You're a mermaid.
Well, but I mean, I do a lot of land classes also. And I've met a lot of great people here. The camaraderie, the kindness, the friendships is next to not. I mean, it is really, that's what keeps me coming. And it's just a part of my life now, especially Chris, which I hate to claim. But, you know, I will claim her. He's my dance
You heard her. You all heard her.
So it's a good place. I mean, again, I look forward to coming here. I come to the Y 4 days a week. And I do a variety of classes. The Mermaids, they do a lot of fundraisers. I think the money goes to a good cause. The people are just wonderful. They really are. I went through a traumatic brain injury, and the Y, the Mermaids, the staff here, they were so kind, welcoming me back. And that's something I will never forget. I mean, they are just, some of the staff members, I mean, that's them. All of them that I've met have been outstanding.
Oh,
and that's
beautiful.
my testimony.
All right.
And, you know, the Mermaids, they do, they have a lunch that they go to once a month. And usually they have about 20, 25 people attending. It's open really to anybody, but it claims, the Mermaids have claimed it. And they visit different restaurants in the area. And that's once a month. And then at Christmas time, they have a big Christmas party. And in between, they, like Carolyn said, they have run sales where people bring cakes and crafts, and whatever they sell during that time period goes to the Y. So, yeah, I mean, and if you can stand up and get in the water, you don't have to swim. You don't have to be good at swimming or anything. They have belts and flotation devices. It's just a lot of fun. And it's a great way to get exercise when you're older, because the water buoys you up, you know, so you don't sweat like that. It's great.
I absolutely love hearing that. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Carol.
I don't swim. And when I first started the Y, going to that water for me was terrifying. But the staff and the camaraderie of the people around me, when I first got in, I would go to my ankles. Now I'm up to my neck. I'm so proud.
Oh, wow.
But I do enjoy
fantastic.
the water.
Yes. That is awesome.
We have all kinds of levels of swimming. You know, like I said, some people don't swim at all and some people swim. So it doesn't matter. Just come in and get in the water. You're going to have a good time.
Yes.
Now, this next question is for the both of you. Kind of interested in knowing the story behind the name Mermaids and who possibly founded the group and the initial vision of the group.
Chris, take it over. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Mary,
I don't know how it got to be the Mermaids. Honestly, I joined in 2014, and that was the name it was. You know, it's funny because we've had a few men that have joined the Mermaids. It was almost exclusive, and even the water aerobic classes, it was almost exclusively women. Now, right, Carolyn, there's quite a few men that get in and do the water aerobics. And as a result of that, they too want to go to lunch once a month. And so they became Mermaids. But they want to be called mermen. Well, they're still outnumbered. So it's still the Mermaids. But anyway, I don't know. And if Mary were here, who's missing today, she might have a better handle on how that was named. But it's appropriate. I mean, it was all women. We were in the water. And, you know, it just kind of made sense, I guess.
It kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Kind of stuck.
Yeah. And I love what you said about the camaraderie and just the team building and the friendships that build from the classes, coming from the wellness side of the building. That's something I've always appreciated from the time that I've taught. And I actually, before I came up here today for the podcast, I walked through our water aerobics class, so I could absolutely understand exactly where you're coming from, exactly what you're referring to in terms of the camaraderie and the team building that takes place in the water.
And during the day, most of the ladies are probably retired. We do have all ages, but I would say that probably 70% of the women that participate are retired. And when I moved down here to Georgia, I had lived up in Syracuse for my whole life and established friends, went to school up there, Came down here, and at the time I was 52. My kids were grown, and we moved into a neighborhood. And it's very difficult to make friends, at least it was for me, when you don't have the advantage of children in your life, because, you just end up going to school functions, your kids play with each other, you go to the baseball games, My husband and I came down here and did not know a soul. And I found out pretty quick that it was hard to meet in the neighborhood. It just was a hard thing to do. And when I joined the Y, it made all the difference. And getting in the water with those, with the girls, it was a game changer. So for anybody that's sitting home and thinking, how do I meet people? I can't tell you enough to come to the Y, because they offer so many programs. Sometimes people say, well, I could go to another facility and it would be cheaper. And believe me, the Y has a scaling, every individual depends on what your income is. So if you don't have a lot of money, still come down here, because they can accommodate you. But you can go to another place and all they have is the machines. And I've done that. And people walk in and they do their exercise and they walk out. You won't find that here. People tend to congregate. It's an event. It's a gathering. I kind of put it's almost like going to a church, because I know that if I was to get sick, and this has happened to individual mermaids, hey, people are bringing potluck. They're bringing, can I do something for you? You don't get that just going to a place that you just go in and out. And they offer so much for seniors here. If I didn't have the Y, I would not probably have any friends down here, because unless you're working or you have children, in my opinion, it's difficult. So, and I think the mermaids, just come down here, because you're going to love it. And don't let anything keep you like, I could never afford it. Yeah, you can, because there's people down here. I know some for fact that aren't paying anything because of their financial situation. And so it covers all groups.
All right, ladies. So I have the pleasure of asking you the next question. What does a typical day look like for the mermaids at the YMCA?
A typical day.
Yes.
You get to the Y, you change your clothes, you get in the water, you chit chat with the person around you, you do the class, you get out, you chit chat. Well, Chris chit chat some more. You take a shower, Chris chit chat some more. We get dressed, Chris chit chat some more. Then we go into the waiting area, or like a little lounge area. Chris chit chat some more.
You throw me under the bus. Well, the game's afoot now. I didn't know the playing rules, but I got it now.
So it varies. I think a typical day at the Y, the mermaids, it varies person to person. So I may not go in the water every day, but I'm at the Y every day. And I see the same mermaid people. We all interact with land classes, water classes, trips. The Y is a good place. It really is.
I love that. Thank
I endorse
you.
it anyway.
Perfect.
And the
Chris, do you have anything
chit-chatting
you want
is
to add to that?
It really is.
It is. You know, seniors, sometimes the only people you see are the people at the Y. There are a lot of people, they go to the Y and they go home and that's it. So with that in mind, at least you're during the pandemic was horrible because the camaraderie, seeing people, interacting with them, we're all seniors. So we all got aches and veins. So I could tell Chris, oh, my elbow's hurting today. She's, oh, girl, my feet is hurting today. That's very important. Not to say you young people don't know anything, but the seniors, we are seasoned. Chris, would you agree?
Well, if I was a senior, I would agree.
Yeah, right.
I understand where you're coming from. From my perspective.
Yeah, right. This twinkle toes.
It is. It's a typical day. The first class starts, the water class starts about 8. That would be the first class. And they're all different. It could be a deep water class. And then the one at 9 could be high intensity. And then it goes at 10. It usually runs about an hour, between classes. And they start at 8. And usually the last one finishes at 10. But because it's been so popular and so many people have, joined and wanted, the Y has added on a few extra classes in the afternoons. There's one at 11:30, and then there's one at 1:30 on different days. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, there's a 6 o'clock class, which is really nice for the gals that are coming straight from work. And so really, there's enough classes and there's enough varied hours that it will fit in with your, most anybody's schedule. And then, like I said, I can't tell you how many times you'll be in the water. It might be classes over at 11, and people will just say, hey, who wants to go to this restaurant? Or who wants to grab a bite to eat? Well, heck, my hand is always up. So we end up just going, taking that camaraderie, like Carolyn said, and now you go out and have lunch with a handful of people or just one person. It doesn't matter. People are open here to making friends. They wouldn't be here if they weren't, for the most part. Especially the seniors, we're looking for companionship, just to have fun. And loneliness is a hard thing at any age, but they've documented that it's extremely difficult for senior citizens. That's one of the major complaints, is that they're lonely. And so, I would just say you don't have to be. Just come down here and give it a couple of weeks, and you'll be in like fun. You'll be doing great.
Wonderful.
That's amazing.
Thank you both for sharing just the piece that really speaks to your mental health. I mean, you're doing it obviously for your physical health, but the connection that I'm sensing from you both, that it really has, especially Carolyn, as you mentioned, the pandemic was so hard and just a horrible time coming back. Would love to hear you share how being a part of the Mermaids has helped your physical health as well. Like, what have you noticed as being a part of the group?
I noticed strength. I will be 80 years old. When I had my aneurysm, what saved me was I was active. I was at the Y. So with that in mind, my recovery was not instant, but it took a while. And with the help of the Y, the water classes, the land classes, and the team spirit here, as well as the seniors, that helped me more than they realized. Because at one time I had a hard time speaking. I mean, physically I was fine, but mentally I was horrible. And the Y took the time, especially the instructors here, they took the time to work with me, to encourage me. And, and now, ta-da, I'm back.
That's better than ever.
So the Y means a lot to me. The Y really means a lot. And when I don't come to the Y, I feel like my day is not complete. Something is missing. So it's part of my lifestyle now. And I thank the members. I thank the staff. I thank the folks that's here. Not you, Chris, but everybody else.
Chris, well, Carolyn says not you, but would love to hear from you, Chris, about your physical, the piece that the question I asked.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Allison?
I would love to hear from Chris and your perspective too, from your physical health, how you've been impacted by being a part of the Mermaids.
Honestly, if I didn't come to the Y, I'd probably be doing nothing. That's just the nature of the beast with me. I'm not one to jump up at 5 o'clock and I'm going to run around the block a couple of times, but it gives me a reason to come here, and it has made a difference in my stamina. And, you just feel better. You really feel better. And it may not be that you're going to come out looking like, a Barbie doll. But the inside of you is what counts, because your heart gets stronger. Your lungs are better. The stamina is good. It's win-win. It's a win-win for the body and the soul, basically. So, yeah, I notice a difference. Like I said, you might not say, oh, God, she lost 100 pounds, but it's not about that. It's about feeling better. And that you definitely feel. So many times we'll hear in the locker room, oh, I didn't want to come, but I'm so glad I did. Right, Carolyn? I hear it all that, oh, I'm so glad, because it does make you feel better. So, yeah, throw away your pills. You may not need them. Come down here, get in the water.
Well stated. Well stated.
That's great.
Yes.
Now, I know in your bios and your opening remarks, you talked about volunteering and different events and activities you get involved in outside of the Y. Can you share some of your more memorable event and activities that the Mermaids have done that involved with the YMCA?
A couple of years ago,
they used to be. Yeah, go ahead, Carolyn.
A couple of years ago, they did the lunch program, and we went to different sites and gave lunch to children. And I think the Mermaids was kind of involved with that.
I did. Yes, I was. I remember that. I did some of that,
and that was very fulfilling.
We made the sandwiches here, and then we would pack them up, and
we went to a lot of extended stay hotels with children. A lot of times, that's maybe the only meal of the day. So we were fortunate and blessed that we were able to give. I volunteer other places only because I am blessed and I know I need to get back. They do a lot of, don't they do summer lunch program also making sandwiches here?
Yeah, they do that. And the other thing that the Mermaids do is it's called the Aquathon. And that runs once a year. And what it is it's on a Saturday morning. It runs from 8 to 11. And it's almost all of the water instructors, all the water aerobic instructors, they come in on Saturday, and starting at 8 o'clock, they run straight through with no stops, their classes. And if you want to participate in that, it's like $10 to participate. But then you get raffle ticket with that, and you get to take a chance on some beautiful baskets that local merchants have donated. And it's just a lot of fun. The music is playing. Really loud. You would think, and it's decorated nice. And all that money that you give to participate, the $10 that you give to participate, and selling some additional raffle tickets, all of that goes into the Y. And I think the last time we've got one coming up in September 28th this year. It'll be coming up. They usually can get about $1,600 for just 3 hours, of people participating, and it's like a carnival almost. That's fun, and that's open to anyone, but I'd say it's 90% the Mermaids are doing it as far as entering into it.
Cool.
Great work. Great work.
Yes, for sure. So this question is for both of you ladies again. What advice would you give to someone looking to stay active and engaged in their community as they age?
When I see anyone even walking by the Y, I try to drag them in. When I see a new member, especially Chris also, she does it. You introduce yourself to them because you know how it felt when you were new. So you try to encourage them. If I see them on a land class, I usually mention, do you know we have water classes? Have you tried any of those? I think that's the nicest thing about this Y. Most people engage with each other and encourage. And I think that is so important because when you go to a strange place, you don't know anybody. You know, my daughter kind of dumped me here. And she said either swim or sink.
Did you hear that, Robert?
But it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing.
Right.
You know, it's been a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Chris,
I love that.
You're on.
You know, I have no problem talking to people.
No,
And, and when I talk to somebody that's new or that even is new to me, probably at some point in the conversation, I'll say, now, what is your name? And I find that really is necessary to put a name with the face. And so when I see that person again, if I can remember it, hey, Mary, then to me right away, if I walked into a place and maybe it was my second day and a couple of people said, hey, Chris, I feel like I belong. You know, I mean, knowing somebody's name, it's a powerful connection. And people in the Y, very good. I know a lot of names now. I think of that Cheers song, you know, that sitcom Cheers. I want to go where everybody knows
your name.
Yes.
That is how I would sum up.
Yes.
To summarize on this conversation.
Yes. Well stated.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to go where everybody knows my name. And I sometimes struggle to remember names. We all do. But we just know our names. Everybody's on first name basis, and it won't take long to get on a first name basis.
That's true.
So,
well, I have the next question, but I think you've really answered the question I was going to ask. So I'm going to ask you something different. And you've shared about your experience and your fellow mermaids. Are there any folks that work at the Y that you'd like to lift up during this conversation? Anyone you want to share with us who's made a real difference for you?
Oh my gosh. Get the employee handbook. I mean, right from the minute when you walk in, Anna's great. The people that man that front desk, and that's just walking in. And then we each have different instructors. We share some instructors, but I mean, there's Cindy and Barb and Lisa. I mean, I'm going to feel bad because I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. I get to name my couple, but you know, I mean, Cindy does there's just, I really shouldn't even go down that path because I know I'm going to come out of here and say I forgot somebody who means a lot to me, but they are all great. They are all great. Ashley just started and she's doing great, and we have fun. We just have a good time.
I have no doubt who my favorite, who has helped me 100%. And that was Elizabeth. She's a coach approach person. She has taken me under her wing, especially when I came back after my illness. She encouraged me. She walked with me because I was not really steady on my feet. Excuse me. So she is my angel. Like she said, all the staff here is wonderful, but there's a few that's really outstanding. Cindy, she's wonderful. The dance teachers, Megan, she's wonderful. And I mean, she welcomes everybody when they come to the Y. So I mean, it's a family thing. I really think it feels like an extended family when you walk through the door. You see a familiar face. You know, my sister can't believe that I know everybody, and I don't. But I just speak to everybody. And Chris does the same thing. Someone just locked me in this room. Oh, Lord.
You know it. Carolyn and I had no trouble becoming friends.
That is clear.
It's hot in this room. Sorry. I got to open the door. Sorry.
I thought maybe, Robert, you were getting to her.
It's a small room. Oh, my God. There's no window.
There's no ventilation.
Don't fall for that opening the door.
Oh.
And I hope that
forever. Are we entertaining you?
I promise you, this is better than any paperwork I could have ever done today.
Yes.
Monday mornings would be so much fun.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Made my
Well,
day.
I have the privilege of winding down this episode with the question that we ask every guest. We would like to know a little bit about your pathway to the Y. Now, Carolyn, you explained to us how you began, that you were signed in or signed up by your daughter. But if you can kind of just dive a little deeper into that, as well as Christine, just what is your pathway? In other words, how did you very first get connected to the YMCA?
Like I said, to me, it was my daughter. I was new to the state. She wanted, she knows I'm a very independent person, but she wanted to make me as independent as possible. So bringing me to the Y, she stayed with me with a couple of classes, and then she left. So it was up to me. And luckily, I'm the kind of person I could sink or swim.
Yeah,
So
you don't have any trouble making friends.
Excuse me?
You have no trouble making friends.
Well, certain people have certain. No, I'm joking. No. So for me, it's like I said, it's my lifestyle at this point. And I can't understand. Where I live in the 55 and over, trying to encourage the seniors to come here, it's been very difficult. Majority of the time, people in my age group, they sit at the gazebo and they rock and they talk and they rock and they talk that's all they do. Then when they get up, they can't understand why they can't stand, why their legs hurt. I have pains also, but the Y has taught me how to balance myself. So when I get ready to fall, you know what I mean? I have enough strength to not fall. To me, it's my lifestyle. I've only got to say good things about the Y. Chris, take it over. I have to go to my volunteer job in a
When
minute.
I first came into the Y was my granddaughter was taking swim lessons. And I was bringing her. Usually it was the swim lessons were in the evening, and usually her mom could take her. But this one time, my daughter couldn't. So I said, well, I'll take her. So I came, and rather than go home, because at the time I think she was like 6 or 7, and they have an area where you can sit and you can observe the kids swimming and observe the whole pool, actually. And I was sitting there, and I thought, I'm a swimmer. I love the water. And I was sitting there, and I saw, the kids swimming. I saw the lap swimming, and I thought, I'm in. I think I came back the next day and signed up because, you can get the treadmills and the rowing machines and the ellipticals, but not everybody has a nice pool. And this pool is a real nice pool. And that's what, for me personally, being a person who loves the water and being in the water, that was the big draw for me personally. Somebody else might be, they have a great walking track. But for me, it was that. And then honestly, probably if my granddaughter wasn't taking the lesson, I don't know if I would have come in on my own. You almost need, like Carolyn said, somebody to, hey, let's go to the Y. Eventually I may have come around to it, but not that particular moment in time was I looking for that. But when I saw what it was, I signed up the next day. I was in.
That's excellent. That reminds me of an episode we had a little while ago, a multi-generational swim lesson that we've started at many of our Ys. So a grandmother, a mother, and her 2 sons in the same swim lesson. So it just goes to show it can be a family affair for sure.
They have adult swim lessons here too for anybody. Yeah.
I've taken it. Still can't swim, but I've taken it.
Just keep on. You've got the spirit going. You really do have the spirit for it. I have had such a great time with you guys.
Yes.
You guys have absolutely made my morning.
Yeah,
Absolutely made my morning.
for sure.
Well, that 1 o'clock class, they may have a high bar now.
Yes, they do. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this.
And we have truly enjoyed you
problem.
guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at ymcaatlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.